You want to just hop straight into that, bitch?
Yeah.
All right, cool.
All right, let's go.
All right, welcome to another episode of the Traveling Hoopers podcast. I am your host, Alan Pettigrew Jr. And to my left, is Phillip Dixon in the flesh for the first time in 3 years. Let the people know.
What's
about
up, ladies?
yourself. Oh, Jesus.
What's up, ladies? My name's Phillip Dixon, aka Boy Wonder. First time in person for the podcast. Caught one was some weeks ago. Now it's me, and I feel privileged to, finally get the one-on-one connection I've wanted all my life.
I'm glad I can do that. Oh, he is not. Trust me. We just talked about this like 5 minutes ago. He is not.
I ain't heard the conversation.
Okay. But anyway, let's go ahead and get into the fun stuff.
Sure.
Guys, we have been... But before we get started with the show, can you please do me a big favor and let us know in the comments below who you think will win the gold medal and also who you would think will win these final games for the NBA championship. Doing our halftime shows on Instagram Live for the past 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
So it is time to talk about the past 3 games, game 3, 4, and 5 of the NBA Finals, and just get down to what we're looking at as the Bucks are now 3-2.
Nope.
And
yeah, you're right.
In 1 game away from winning the NBA Finals. Just because I don't like to be wrong, I want to hold off and say that the Phoenix Suns have a chance of coming back.
Wait, but
I know they don't.
Who said the Bucks were gonna win it all?
I don't know. I don't think anybody on this podcast said specifically that the Bucks were going to win. I don't know of this particular person.
Well, good thing's a podcast, and there is like an archive, and revisionist history won't be a thing. Me, I said Bucks. I didn't say Bucks and what. I might have said Bucks and 6 to the truth. I might have said Bucks and 6, and if I get Bucks and 6, y'all are not gonna. There is not gonna be a time and place where you don't hear about this. I'm not gonna lie to you, because listen, Drew Holiday, if he does not play like cheeks, they win. That's all. He has to not be below average, and they win.
Yeah.
He can be average, and it's all right. We saw it last game. He would have really good last game.
He was all-star level last game. He wasn't just average.
Yeah, but the game before that he was. Almost all the home games, he was an average guy, and they won handily.
That's the beauty of being the third option. I feel like
it is.
You just got to show up and be tight, and he was not just tight last game. Like that core, the big 3 of Milwaukee looked like the big 3 of Milwaukee. And to be honest with you, I can't think of the last time.
And to be honest with you, okay.
And to be honest with you, I do not know the last time that all 3 of them look like dudes together. Like this is, like it.
I mean, they had to at some point leading up to this
definitely
in the playoffs. I didn't watch their every game. I didn't watch. I wasn't keeping track of each player's stats every single game. So they had to at some point. And Chris Middleton was very productive this entire series. Besides those first 2 games, where they're at home against Phoenix. I saw those games. He was very productive. Giannis doing Giannis things, and Drew Holiday he didn't play bad like the first 2 games he did in the finals.
Yeah.
The whole playoffs. So by the numbers, I'm assuming there had to have been a chance that they all played very well at the same time. Now, Drew Holiday didn't have all-time great moments.
Oh no.
He had an all-time great moment. He had 2 of them. He's had 2 all-time great moments last game. And then there was some point where earlier in the series he got a block on somebody in like the full court.
Yeah.
But everybody forgot about that because of Giannis blocks. So like those were kind of discarded. But then he had 2 ridiculous plays this past game that legit, and one of them we will see for years.
Oh yeah,
for years,
definitely.
Like 100%, he made up for everything off this last game.
Yeah, I'm glad to see all three of them show up like this. But I don't want to count out the Phoenix Suns either, because it's not like they got blew out in this game. Like, even with Chris Paul looking like he's been injured for like the past 3 games, that hasn't been the Chris Paul that we normally see. Statistically it was, but he also took like 16 shots and made like 9, which is a good average for you to finish with 21 points. Tad bit shot happy and not exactly the most efficient game. And I don't really have a problem with that, especially when you give 11 assists and then DeAndre Jordan. DeAndre Ayton had 20 and 12. So the fact that they both had like really solid games, we got another 40 from Booker. Like and
they still lost.
And they still lost. But for them to lose, we had to have 27-28 from Giannis, 27-28 from Middleton, and we had to have 27 in extraordinary defense from Drew Holiday. Which, if we're being honest, I don't think Drew Holiday is going to have I don't think he's going to have another game where he's over 20 points and is that effective on defense. And I'll take the L on that. He's got 2 more to prove me wrong.
It is more. One more. Because I will say this. So 2 things. One, him playing good defense is automatic. So him just getting over 20 points, I will take that bet. Him getting 13 assists is different. Him getting 13 assists is completely different.
Yeah.
But even with all that being said, on the flip side, due to my second point, the Phoenix Suns played a really, really, really good game.
Yeah.
And lost. You know what I mean? Like, Booker had 40, Chris Paul had 20, Ayton had 20, and they still lost.
Yeah.
Those are good numbers from all of them, but the difference is Chris Paul wasn't as... And if you look at the stats, you won't be able to tell this. Mm-mm. But when you watch the game, you could definitely tell this, right? That he wasn't Chris Paul.
Yeah, he doesn't look the same.
He had 20 points, 9 assists, something like that?
11
assists. He had 21 and 11. That's a good game. That's a really good game. But he wasn't playing like Chris Paul.
Yeah.
Ayton did what Ayton did. And then Booker went off.
Yeah. Even though he had that bad mistake. They
were 14 for 18 in the first quarter.
Mm-hmm.
And still everything went right and they lost. Like the Milwaukee Bucks are going to finish it out in Game 6. I believe. Okay. Because their role players really know what their role is. They do nothing outside of their role. Nothing. Now, being Suns, same thing, right?
Yeah.
The role players do exactly what they're supposed to do. But who do you trust? In terms of like 2 teams that have role players that do exactly what they're supposed to do, the ones in their 20s or the veterans?
Okay, when you put it like that, I think I got to go with the veterans. But yeah, I've been talking about this all series. I personally think the Phoenix Suns have a way better bench than what the Bucks have.
You can have a better bench. You can have a better bench, right? Yeah. But when everybody knows their roles and you've been in the league for 10 years and you know exactly what you want to do, and they got Connaughton and
Connaughton been in the league a minute too.
Yeah. He played in Notre Dame when I was at Fisk still, so that was 2000 So that was 2017, 2016, something like that. Yeah, because that was my first year at Fisk, so 2015 actually. I remember what dorm I was in. So it was 2015. So he'd been in the league for a minute, but I always lose track of his name. Shooter off the bench, light skinned dude. He's not even playing this series. Not even really playing this series. They shrunk their rotation down.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and they shrunk the rotation down. And notice this: who's getting more playing time that he's out? The veteran Jeff Teague. Jeff Teague's getting because this goes back to, I hate it when they used to say that the coach for the Milwaukee Bucks wasn't making adjustments.
Mm-hmm.
Because that was a huge adjustment that he made. Because O'Du was coming off the bench. hitting threes, like very consistent.
Yeah.
But what's Jeff Teague going out there to do? Jeff Teague going to go out there and not make any mistakes. He's going to go out there and play fine defense, right? And fine defense is better than no defense from the other guy, right?
Yeah.
So, and Jeff Teague can go out there, and he's another person that you can just get the ball and say, bring the ball up court, pass it to Johnson on the block. That's all you need. Run offense. He's the first 9 years of his career, he didn't miss the playoffs. Something like that, right? When he was with the Hawks, and when he was with, and then when he was with Minnesota for a little bit. He was in Minnesota for a tiny stint, like a year or two, and he didn't miss the playoffs with them either. First round.
Minnesota?
Yeah, first round. Like that year, Derrick Rose was there. And Derrick Rose the year before.
I felt like the only time they made the playoffs was when Jimmy Butler was there.
Yeah.
He just happened to go with the Jimmy.
Yeah,
that's perfect timing,
right? And Jeff Teague wasn't one of the guys that Jimmy butted heads with because Jeff Teague's Jeff Teague. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
I don't even know if Jeff Teague talked.
But Jeff Teague has a veteran presence on a team that they've obviously were like, okay, we need you in here to go against. Because if you don't have a guy with like a head on his shoulders, a good head on his shoulders, I should say, going against Chris Paul, you're gonna get eaten alive.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Right? Even if Chris Paul's not looking the way he's supposed to, he's 36. Even if Chris Paul isn't playing a Chris Paul game or playing Chris Paul well, he will destroy somebody with a lower IQ, with a much lower IQ, I should say, which is freshmen and sophomores and juniors in the league and first 5-year players in the league and stuff who don't really play defense anyways. So like you gotta go, okay, Jeff Teague out there. They need adjustment and things have changed.
Yeah. All right. So for the Phoenix Suns, do you feel like they have a closing problem at this point? Because the past 2 games they've had the lead going with 6 minutes in the fourth, and then I want to say game 4 was closer to 2 minutes.
Okay.
And they pooped the lead away both times. So or is that? Because I feel like that's supposed to be Chris Paul time.
Yeah. Their closing problem is they can't guard nobody. The closing problem is they're not guarding Chris Middleton. Now, they're guarding Chris Middleton, I should say, but they can't guard Chris Middleton.
Mm-hmm.
And Chris Middleton is closing these games out for them. The games they've won, Chris Middleton is closing these games out. Besides that one where Giannis was just like on one.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And when Giannis is on one, you foul him. You know what I mean? So, what do you do? Oh, you're gonna foul me? Pass the ball to Chris Middleton. You saw what he did.
Oh yeah.
He had the last game. Got the tip back, Chris Middleton, right?
Yeah, and
Chris
then
Middleton
passing out of shots. That's another one that you notice when he was getting fouled. Be like, no.
Yeah, Chris Middleton is last game is a really good indicator. It is a really good indicator of this. The fourth quarter, there was a stint in the fourth quarter. It was a good amount of time. 5 positions back and forth. He went to the bathroom. Remember this? I told you this, where Chris Middleton and Devin Booker went back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. But no one's really stopping anybody. But then, who was it? PJ Tucker got a foul. And PJ Tucker got too many fouls for the time span it was in.
Yeah.
And he had to leave. So what happened? That put Drew Holiday on Devin Booker. And it wasn't going back and forth anymore. Because Drew Holiday was clamping up. And it was pretty crazy to watch because it wasn't on purpose. PJ Tucker it was a bad foul. It was a foul on him, but it was a bad foul for him to take. And oh no, we're gonna put our best defender on the guy now and then Chris Paul was doing anything, so it kind of just like out of sight, out of mind kind of thing. You know what I mean? So I don't think Phoenix Suns have a closing problem on their end, outside of the fact that they don't have a guy who can just like, all right, it's the end of the game, go play defense. Because think of it, championship teams. Doesn't matter. And Drew Holiday isn't at the level of these other people, but actually you could argue that he's at a level of one. I'm about to say, but championship teams have that guy.
Yeah.
LeBron. I'm not this popular, I swear. LeBron, D him up. Iguodala. That's the one I was trying to say a little more comparison to.
Yeah.
D him up. Kawhi, D him up.
Ron Artest. If we're going back with it, Ron Artest.
But Kobe also, right? Kobe was a deep. Kobe would D somebody up. So, but these championship teams have a guy that when it's that time, go out there and guard that player. And the Bucks have one. Phoenix doesn't. Man, that's a really good point I just made.
It is.
That was crazy.
It is, because I was thinking about that while you were saying that. It was like,
Yeah.
they even have a better defensive stopper in Giannis. Like,
Yes.
like that's not what Ayton does yet. Like, he has made some
But even-
serious plays, but it's not Giannis.
But all these people that I mentioned can guard on ball. Ayton is not going to guard
Oh, no, he can't.
some guard on ball. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? What, like LeBron or Iguodala or whatever could. You know what I mean? Ron Artest, as you mentioned earlier. He couldn't. Chris Paul at one time could be pesty, be a pest
But
on ball.
he can't do nothing against Middleton.
Especially right now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Being the fact he's 36. So, it's not a surprise that the Bucks were number 1 in the league in defense this past year. And it's a cliche at this point, but defense wins championships. But if you think about it, that's real.
Yeah.
Defense may get you the championship, but defense will win you that championship.
Yeah.
Right? We've seen, like, can you name any defensive plays the Phoenix Suns have made this whole entire series so far? Just think about it real quick. Can you name one?
I know Ayton's made something. And
What?
I know
What's the play?
I can't name a particular, so you got me stumped there. But there's like no real signature one from Phoenix.
You can name 5 from Milwaukee.
Yeah.
Like, legit. You can
And that's
name
just
5.
in the past 2 games alone.
Yes,
you know?
literally. You can name Milwaukee is. You can go ahead and play a little, because the first 2 games for sure when the Phoenix was at home, and we said with each other, they were playing. They weren't playing as hard. It looked like.
Yeah.
Getting out hustled, like the intangible stuff that people talk about when playing basketball. But these last 3 games after that has not been the case, because the number 1 defensive team in the league has really stepped up, but their defensive players have stepped up, right?
Yeah.
Like, Brook Lopez has got blocks when he's usually, nowadays at least, on the 3-point line, just standing there. Drew Holiday clamping. Like, even last game, I can remember a time off the top of my head where Devin Booker made the shot, but Chris Middleton made him take a really tough shot.
Yeah.
Like a shot that only Devin Booker and like 2 other people in the league can make. Legit. He's that good of a scorer. But even like their non-defensive players are playing defense, and that's gonna put them over the edge to where the only way that Phoenix wins this next game and goes to Game 7 is they use that reporter's question for motivation. How do you feel that you let Chris Paul down, or whatever the guy said, right?
He was like, how bad do you feel for Chris Paul?
Yeah,
Like,
that nonsense.
what?
I wonder how these people get their jobs or whatever.
Hey, Chris Paul got Devin Booker media trained like a bug.
He does. He does.
And he like barely moved. Devin Booker's like, yeah, I can't answer that.
But you see Chris Paul face though? Like, but if they use that for motivation, I don't know what's, and anything's possible, to quote KG. But just from like the points that I've shown just now, I don't think that there's any kind of way Phoenix can win this series. I don't think they're gonna win the next game, but they have a chance because they're going home. But they've got to play Milwaukee off of the way Milwaukee just won or just played, and you've seen how they're talking. They're like, we're not celebrating yet. I'm talking about. I'm like, that's not what we're doing right now. You got to play that team at home. Yeah. And those fans, those Milwaukee fans,
they go crazy.
There was 25,000 people outside of the stadium. Granted, get vaccinated. This is Delta 9. I'm not trying to be inside again for a whole year because of y'all people. Whatever.
Delta variant.
Yeah.
We gonna be inside. It's cool. Y'all know how to wash your hands.
The CDC said it is a pandemic among the unvaccinated. Your boy vaccinated.
Vax gang.
Vax gang. But that fan base is going to be on one. Listen, you can't lose a game to win a championship with Oscar Robertson and Kareem sitting in the front row. I'm just saying. If that's not motivation, then you got no motivation. That's crazy. That's crazy. That's like basketball. Like, there's not many teams in the NBA that can do that.
Yeah.
Like players that are still alive at this moment, there are not.
Especially 50 years after
the Bulls couldn't do that. The Bulls couldn't do that. Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen does not equal up to that.
No.
Right? And these two were teammates, right? You can't do Kobe, Shaq. But even Kobe, Shaq, you really wouldn't equal up to that. Because
it's
the best player of all time. And neither one of them, you could argue Kareem's one of the best players of all time.
Oh, yeah,
and you can't make an argument that Kobe or Shaq was.
It's not Mr. Triple Double, the original Mr. Triple.
The original Mr. Triple Double, and he was averaging triple doubles. He was averaging triple doubles before they made it official statistic. So like, we don't know how many triple doubles this man actually had, right?
Yeah.
So you got that sitting front row to watch, bro. I'll be nervous. There's a reason why I'm not in the league, cause I'll be shook. You know what I mean? But like, if that's not motivation, I don't know what it is. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
Look, I completely agree with you. But if we got one person that can like pull off an upset, I believe in Chris Paul a little bit too much. This might just be my fanboy juices coming out. But if I'm looking for one person to upset the apple cart, especially in this finals, it is Chris Paul. Like even after what? The steady decline.
Steady? Yeah.
And
it's been steady.
And this is the game. The last game was the one where Chris Paul looked more like Chris Paul, but still had his moments. Like, if we're talking about game 4, I've never seen that version of Chris Paul. Like, even with injuries, I've never seen that. The game 3, that was looking shaky. Like, this looked closer to game 2 Chris Paul than any other version that we've seen.
Question.
What's up?
This is for you. Chris Paul's turnovers, is that more on Chris Paul or is that more on the defense of Milwaukee?
No, it's
because he's having more turnovers right now than he has had this playoff run, right?
Yeah.
42-0, and like I've heard Chris Paul has 0 turnovers so many times it's gotten crazy. Like I don't even know how you have the ball in your hand that much and have 0 turnovers.
Yeah,
but he's had a lot in comparison.
Yeah.
These last 3 games. So, who do you give the credit to? Chris Paul's steady decline, or to the Milwaukee Bucks' defense?
All right, can you do me a favor and look up like his turnovers over the past couple games? Because I really feel like this has been more of a Chris Paul issue. Like, what was it, game 4 that we watched together when we said he even looked like he's like shortening up on his jump shot a little bit? In some of the turnovers he had, like the one that I'm thinking about in game 5 in particular, he just lost the ball. Like he turned around and he lost the ball. Like there wasn't a defender all that close to him. I was like, maybe this is a fatigue thing at worst, but like that's also not a Chris Paul normality. And I do understand that he's getting guarded 94 feet basically
the entire time,
and that is going to slow you down. But Chris Paul's never looked like a dude that had conditioning issues. And if we want to be lame and talk about the whole vegan thing, best shape of my life, blah blah blah.
Wait, is he vegan?
Yeah, like he switched like a season or 2 ago. It's a whole little documentary about it.
I don't care about that man's documentary about veganism, but keep going. I know this.
Yeah,
I know this. But I'm just saying we got canine teeth for a reason. Continue.
But
okay, I got it.
Yeah. So what is it?
Where you at? There it is. 2 first game. Yeah, 2 the first game. 6 the second game. 4, 5, then 1.
All right. So, like
he had 6 turnovers. He had 6 turnovers one game. You can't put that on himself because that's got to be some defensive lead.
No. I'll give you that, but that's also the last game that they won, and I get that he looked different in game 5, and that's where we're looking at 5 turnovers, or is that 4?
When?
Game. I guess
game 1, 2, 3, 4. Game 4 is 5 turnovers.
Yeah, 5 turnovers.
Game 5 is 1 turnover.
Like if we can. In that turnover that I saw, he literally just lost the ball.
But I saw a turnover where he punked or he jumped for 3-point line, or a little mid range, I think. Hand up, he couldn't find nobody, threw it out of bounds.
Yeah, like
is that on him?
No, that's good defense, but slightly bad decision making. You get it?
Mm-hmm. Ooh, okay. That's why I think he's hurt though, because he doesn't lift on a shot.
Exactly. You know, it's he's been fading super hard. And I guess he has to do this with these
guys,
like 6'9" and Bobby.
This big.
But if we being real, game 1, he was eating Bobby Portis alive. Like he was cooking he was cooking Bobby Portis. And then like as the series has got different, it's not like Bobby Portis is like super sagging off this man. He's still up close.
Yeah, he's working hard too. Let's go, Bobby.
Different.
Let's go, Arkansas, Bobby. Working hard.
He's doing a good job defensively.
Mm-hmm.
But if we saw in game 1 when Chris Paul had 32 points, he was cooking Bobby Portis. But we talking about every game since, he has not looked as good, even with Bobby Portis guarding him. Yeah. Like he's settled for jumpers with Bobby Portis. Like if you don't go hit that man with a 3-piece,
what if he's getting worn down? Like what if the defense? What if they're putting so much pressure on him every single possession because they put the best defensive player in the whole entire series on him, 90 feet the entire time? What if he's just being 36?
Look, if that is the case, that's cool. But
that's
cool. Look, that's cool. But I'm gonna need him to be on this, especially if he's talking about the 3 years, $100 million.
He's not getting that. No,
I don't like to count people pockets.
No one but LeBron's getting that.
If he's trying to do that, he needs to do what Kevin Garnett used to do. With what's this? I want to say round mound or rebound, but I know that's not that man's name. Charles Barkley, and I can't think of another person. No, Dennis Rodman. If you don't hop on that assault bike like after the game or something to try to get your stamina up, I know it's like a week left for you to try to do that.
Nope, it's a wrap.
I don't know what you need to do.
Yeah, he do what he need to do. He went vegan.
And then look, and it's not enough.
No.
So it's just like
tired and stuff.
Right? It's like I feel bad for him.
Why?
Almost makes me,
I don't know.
It almost makes me want to be like, let's go more.
I don't feel bad for no millionaire.
I can feel bad for a millionaire. Jay Williams, I feel bad for. If we talking about
the guy who is he won a millionaire then. What was he?
He was the number 2 pick. He was making.
Oh, at the time?
Yeah, it was like second season that happened.
Yeah, I don't feel bad.
He was a millionaire.
I don't feel bad.
Yeah.
In his dreams. But guess what?
Like that's the emotional part.
Everybody knew you was cold. You don't have to do nothing.
Except like children, because I refuse to look at the highlights. I don't care enough.
Okay, but it's very hard for me to feel about millionaires.
Understand.
Most of them don't get most like accidents and their whole entire livelihood's gone.
Yeah.
So
we appreciate you, bro. But to get back to it, as much as the defense is an issue, it looks more like Chris Paul is just off. Like whether that's the shoulder injury coming back, like I don't know in particular, he just doesn't look like the Chris Paul we're used to seeing.
Sure, but Giannis after that hyperextended knee.
I feel like a hyperextended knee is so much different than like a partial dislocation.
We've all had a hyperextended knee when you play basketball, where your leg just tweak a little bit.
Exactly. I always feel like when people were talking about that, I was like, that's not exactly the worst injury. And then he had like almost a week to kind of rest because he didn't play those last 2 games.
Like elbow is way worse.
Oh yeah,
your knee is fine. Everybody like kind of stands that way anyways. You know what I mean? So it's listen, game's over next game.
I would bet something on that, but I'm already looks like I'm gonna be in the hole for $2 million, so I'm good on that.
I know,
super good on that.
But
I'm gonna need Chris Paul to go ahead and do Chris Paul things and take over these next 4th quarters because I don't want to give this man any type of food. It's okay.
Come on, Bucks. But yeah, Bucks in 6. Chris Paul's not gonna get that 3-year unless he goes to the Pistons. You know what I mean? Unless he goes somewhere that will have no chance of winning a championship.
Yeah, that'd be kind of hot because that means the Pistons. We gotta watch the Pistons in the playoffs.
No, I'm good.
And I want Jeremy Grant to feel a little bit stupid about taking that much money.
He don't feel stupid. At the very end of his career, he gonna pull that. DeMarcus Cousins to get on every championship team. You know what I mean? Like, or try to at least.
He gonna win rings because of that. Because he is the piece that most teams need.
Yeah.
It's like
tall shooters.
and he's proven that he can average like 24 points a game. Like,
Yeah,
Jeremy Grant.
He proved it. He proved it. He's
Hey,
frustrated.
I'm telling you, Michael Porter Jr. and Jeremy Grant would have fought in the playoffs this year. They would have fought. But that's not what we're talking about.
Nope.
But
Not at all.
But I feel like that's about it, though.
Nope.
You got some more stuff for the finals?
Not for the finals.
No, that's what I'm talking about.
Oh, argument in general.
This topic. Like,
Okay.
Come on, man. Speed up, y'all.
My bad.
It was like, okay, so let's go ahead and poorly shift. Like, Jeremy Grant, perfect segue. Team USA.
Hey, that's what I want to know.
Hey, let's talk about Team USA and how drastically different they're going to look because of COVID. Because, you know, Brad Bill's officially in the protocol. And he's thinking about not even going because he has to be in the protocol.
As of today, Zach LaVine's in the protocol.
And if we're talking about
Kevin Love dipped out.
And if we're talking about the women's 3-on-3 team, Katie Lou Samuelson, she has COVID-19. That was just announced today. So we're not sending our like elite of the elite. We still got like Dame Dollar and Kevin Durant, which means
we about to legit get bronze.
I don't think we're gonna get bronze. I think this is the time for us to go see Route 66 KD. You remember when he was just going crazy at the record? I want that, and I want Dame shooting from half court.
No,
I don't really
the
care.
Europeans will foul you hard. He ain't doing that.
That's cool.
That's
cool.
I want the NBA season should be entertaining.
I mean, it's gonna be entertaining.
Them dudes will foul you hard.
Yeah,
and
they're gonna injure you though.
And these are NBA refs. These are world refs. You know what I mean?
If you give me a hard foul on this half court shot, I guarantee that has to be
World War III happening.
No, we ain't gonna do World War III now, but we do got 2 nukes.
Listen,
ain't nobody messing with KD and Dame Dollar on the world stage.
You're right. They're also really bad at defense.
That's true.
That's
true. Can't say nothing. They got JaVale McGee to fix that. Don't worry about that.
Don't.
Captain.
I think this is what happened.
Bro, when I saw JaVale McGee, I was like,
watch
we
this
just
though.
doing
Watch
stuff.
this though. I think this is what's happening. Because JaVale McGee wasn't the only guy that they brought over. He's over Odu from the Spurs too. I think this is what's happening.
Oh, Keldon Johnson, nice.
I think this is what's happening.
Defensively.
Greg Popovich being decided, we're just gonna treat this like a regular basketball team. So we're gonna have all these role players around that know their roles and are smart, and then we're gonna have some stars. Because if these other stars dip out, and KD's out here being reckless himself. He was in the studio yesterday with Kanye listening to his album that's about to drop Friday.
Maybe they both vaccinated. Maybe that's okay. Maybe it's like us doing the show right here.
I hope, because it was him. It was some other people was in there. Some other people was in there too. You know what I mean? So I hope they're all vaccinated.
So statistically speaking, somebody's not though.
Mm-hmm. So but I do think Greg Popovich and the coaching staff are probably thinking about like that. If we can't have like a LeBron, Kobe, D Wade, Dwight, Carmelo, we can't have that kind of team.
Yeah.
Then we're gonna have a team. We're gonna have a team, a basketball team. Dame, JaVale McGee,
Keldon Johnson.
Yeah, Kevin Durant.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
We could pull up that roster and just name everybody, but I don't think that's what we're gonna do.
I mean, we don't need to, right? Because they out of the original roster, 6 were left, and I think that was 6. I think that was 6 before. No, it's 5 now because it's Zach LaVine as of today.
Yeah.
So I think that they're just like, okay, we're making a basketball team. People who know their roles, smart. You got the whole league. Oh my gosh,
Dude,
you know what I just realized?
What?
Draymond's gonna play.
Draymond was gonna play regardless.
No, he wasn't.
And get not 20 minutes.
No, he
at
wasn't.
least 14 minutes.
Chris Middleton was gonna come off. Chris Middleton was on the team too. Devin Booker's on the team.
Oh yeah.
Chris Middleton.
Oh, we ain't got nothing to worry about this.
Chris Middleton, Devin Booker, and Chris Paul are all on the team.
Wait, Chris Paul on the team?
It's 3 people in the NBA players over there.
Oh, yeah.
Remember, because they gotta be in the United States. So
Chris Paul might want to stay home and fix that shoulder.
Yeah, but Devin Booker's playing and Chris Middleton's playing. Man, I would clown that man. Whoever wins should clown the other person in the locker room. Anyways, Draymond wasn't gonna play because that's fine. In Euroball, you know this. In Euroball, you can't be a 3-point liability unless you are Dwight Howard or unless you are the best big man in that game right then. Essentially, unfortunately, the best big. Well, not unfortunately, really, but unfortunately for Team USA, I should say, the best big men in the game right now are not from the United States.
True.
Right? Africa, whatever Eastern European country this man Jokic is from.
He's not in there now.
But still, right?
Yeah.
He's not from the United States. So shoot.
I would like to see Sabonis cook Draymond Green. That'd be mad entertaining.
Yeah, it would. But that's what I'm saying. Draymond Green would not have got clock. He really wouldn't have.
Over Kevin Love though.
Kevin Love is European basketball. Kevin Love can shoot a 3.
Yeah, that's nice. Kevin Love can't move his feet to save his life.
Kevin Love can shoot a 3.
I can outrun Kevin Love right now.
Olympics, you know this. Olympics is offensive basketball. Like if you watch any Olympic games since I've been watching since the first one I can remember is 2008, right? That's the first one I paid attention to. It's all offensive basketball.
So are you watching like the other teams too? Because if we're talking about the United States, that's all they gotta play. And if we being real, from like 2008 on, they've also had somebody like Dwight Howard who was like destroying everybody at the rim.
Yeah, but like in terms of like offensive defense,
like
offensively, but offensively, just toss it up there. And Dwight was grabbing it and throwing it on everyone. Yeah. So it's not a good example because Draymond don't have that.
Not at all.
He is an offensive liability. There is with the offense that they have, he's an offensive liability. There is no ifs and buts about it. All European teams have to do is stand back on the 3-point line.
True, yeah.
Right?
This is the crowd to paint too.
This is the Olympic team. This is the Olympics. You shouldn't have nobody out there that you can just go, all right. Right? Because remember, in the Olympics, all the other years, there was always a role player there was always a superstar that chose to be a role player.
Carmelo.
Right? Carmelo Anthony. So it's not hard for superstars to be role players because they're not getting crazy money from this. The money they get from this is dividend gold sponsorships. That's the money. The money isn't if I score this many points per game, I'm going to have so and so amount of bonuses, whatever. It's about winning. So there are superstars that will just be like, okay, I'll just pass the ball, move the ball around, and be that guy, right? But the ones who have historically done that can shoot a 3, can take somebody off the dribble because they're the best players in the world, theoretically. Yeah. Or the best players in the United States specifically, theoretically. And Draymond's not that. But Draymond's going to be playing this year, and I'm upset.
So there's going to be like a brief interjection pretty soon where we're basically going off on a completely different tangent. And it's because my recording device just stopped for like 15 minutes. And we just hop right back into where we kind of left off. So it goes back to normal eventually. I promise.
It's got some thousands of minutes.
No, it's literally the most. Your Draymond hate is the most viewed video on our channel.
So today. Listen, it won't go away. Especially now since Draymond is trying to he hasn't said it, but you can tell by the move he's making that he's transitioning out of basketball. Yeah. He won't be in the league in 5 years.
Oh, of course not.
No, he won't be in the league in 4. I'll say 4 years. He won't be in the league in 4 years. Actually, how old is he?
You can look that up.
That's true. Hold on. What the hell this man is?
Yeah, but I completely agree with you on the USA basketball take. I think this is going to have to be like an offensive superstar show, and hope JaVale McGee can do his best. JaVale McGee impression and just be long and athletic.
In 5 years, he'll be 36. The same as Chris Paul.
Oh yeah, he
can be for a guy who's. And for a guy who's going to the Hall of Fame,
he took his hat off.
For a guy who's going to the Hall of Fame, 36, we saw what 36-year-old Paul Pierce looked like. That was crazy. He's supposed to be. He's like, you're going to the Hall of Fame. 36 is supposed to be like, all right, now I know about 38, I'll hang it up. He won't be here at 36 because he don't have the skill set to be there at 36. But it's been a facade because he's played with some of the best players we have ever seen in our lives. No. I'm sick.
That is one of the best basketball minds ever, and we will see that. We will see that when he retires.
I don't even know where that rhetoric came from. Where did the rhetoric come from that he is one of the best basketball minds in the NBA, that his IQ is so another level? It's not. You give chest passes to Clay at the equivalent to a rec center, the volleyball line, right?
Yeah.
Like you give 5 feet behind the 3-point line. You give him a chest pass, he shoots it. You get that assist because you play with that guy. You don't play with that guy, you don't get that assist at all. We saw that when the people got hurt. You was out there. I guess I'm hurt too. Nah.
Now, we're being real.
No,
we
man.
never talked about him as an offensive basketball mind. It's always been defense with him. Because he's 6'7", he guards your 4 and 5, and he has no lift. Ever. Like, he's just a long arm dude that has to take some type of IQ to be effective.
So he's smart. So he's better for a guy than he's better for a guy who's built the way he is.
He's
So
he's
he's
PJ
good.
Tucker.
He's good with all these disclaimers.
Yeah.
People don't say it like that though.
He gonna be in Hall of Fame without the
They
disclaimer.
played.
So it don't
Who did they
matter.
play this year on the first round of the? They lost to. Who was that? They lost to.
They lost in the bubble.
No. They lost
not
this year.
in the playing game.
They played the playing game to the Lakers, right? And he had one game where he played on the defense with Anthony Davis. And I thought Jeff Van Gundy was going to. I'm not gonna say it. It's a family show.
Finish.
Yes, all over the court. And I was like, chill.
Jeff
Like,
Van Gundy is the reason why we also hear a lot of his.
Draymond played good defense. He played really good defense for that game. Key things I just said. That game. There's so many times where he don't play good defense. So all of a sudden, there are so many other players out there that play good defense.
Look at the camera.
That play good defense periodically. But we don't say they're great defense players. We play. He tries hard. That's generally the rhetoric that's put out there. Nah, Draymond, chill. You ain't all of that. And somehow you're on the Olympic team. Somehow you're going to the Hall of Fame. This man is the most circumstantial good player I've ever seen in my life. But doesn't believe he is. And people around him don't tell him he is. Doesn't make any sense. There's a reason why people called you Mr. Triple Single for a reason. There's a reason for that. Because you triple singles without the greatest shooter we've ever seen in our lives, and a guy who's pretty close in Klay Thompson. Oh, my bad. And Kevin Durant.
Oh yeah, don't forget about KD.
Arguably the greatest scorer in general that we've seen. All right, I wasn't there for George Irvin and stuff. Take those guys away and give him normal players. This man goes from Hall of Fame to doo-doo real quick. Boo-boo in a basket.
Boo-boo in a basket.
Boo-boo in a basket. It's called how I see it, man.
Bro, I love your Draymond tangents. I'm so glad they weren't in the playoffs for real this year.
Bro, listen. Next year, more than likely, the Warriors gonna have a good team. Clay's coming back. He stands there and shoots. He can do that. I mean, he might not be going for 60 anymore, but he can surely go for 30.
Yeah.
20, whatever. Steph's going to be doing Steph things, probably. And Andrew Wiggins really stepped up this year to the fact that they're not going to trade him at all. They want him to be there because defensively, he was there. He was a top defensive player all year. And, he fits well in a third or fourth best player role.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Draymond is about to be on one. And people are going to put him from wherever he was this year and last year on a pedestal again. And I'm here to knock that pedestal down every single week. Like, I'm here for it. I can't wait. I got chills right now. I can't wait.
Phillip,
I can't wait.
I remember a few months ago, you said something. Maybe it might have been a few weeks that you wouldn't talk bad about black men who were changing generations.
What?
You said something. You said something to
Hey,
that nature, but you're not
Black men who what?
who like change generations monetarily. That's one of the things. Like if you gonna make a difference, he made like over $100 million in his career.
Who?
Draymond. So you have to be nice to him.
No, I don't.
Just by your own like rhetoric. Like you
That's
have
not
to
true.
be nice.
I can't help about your kids. I can't help about your wife. Well, I'm not gonna go that far. Like, that's ignorant. But you, listen, have I once talked about him outside of the basketball court? On the basketball court,
You got it.
it's free game. And I'm a guy who knows basketball.
Yeah.
I'm not just some egg emoji on Twitter. Like, I know basketball. So,
Tell us your resume.
what? Your resume? Played basketball from
Just say
eighth
play
grade.
basketball in college, dude.
Play-
That's all I was
oh,
looking
yeah.
for.
I was like, how much do you want me to get? I played college basketball. And I coach AU, I coach all stuff. I've done this. Listen to me. Draymond, I have never talked about you or him. I don't know, you might be seeing this. He looks the kind of guy who does it.
He might. That'd be
I
pretty
have
cool.
never
Shout
talked
out to
about
you, bro.
Draymond off the court. Never in my life. Why? I could say he got too many teeth for his mouth, but I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. But I will
I
say...
should bust you out for that joke, considering
What?
your plans for Invisalign.
Yeah. Sure, I'm trying to get my model status soon, you know? But on the court, it's fair game. He is the most overrated player he's the most overrated player I've ever seen. Like, and I've been actively watching basketball since like 2008. And I've gone back, I got a master's in history. So my initial way to go about things is to go back and research things and look at things. So I know about basketball way before 2008. But that's when I started watching as an 8th grader. And he is the most overrated player that I've come across. Legit. And he said last year that he was the greatest defensive player of all time. That's what he said.
I still like Dwight more than I like him, but
He isn't
Man
even
crush.
top 10 right now in the NBA. He's not top 5 for sure.
oh yeah, definitely.
We are top 10. But top 5, not at all. So why would you say that? He's gotten this far with supreme confidence. Right?
I respect it.
Yeah, you respect supreme confidence until it turns into supreme ignorance. And you saying you're the best defensive player of all time is supreme ignorance. Because confidence turns into ego turns into ignorance. And to say that went from confidence to ignorance. You be confident.
You know what I
Don't be
appreciate
ignorant.
about this?
What?
We were originally talking about U.S. Olympic team.
Oh, my bad. My bad. I'm done.
Draymond, if you see this, we appreciate you. We really do. It wouldn't be the same without you. Go get that gold for America. Nah, do it for yourself. Don't nobody care about America.
Do it for the black man.
Yeah, it's gonna be a lot of black dudes that get medals this year. So.
Yeah, but they do it for them.
Yeah,
And the generational gusto they'll have.
do it for you, so you can tell your kids how amazing of a defensive player you are, all the time.
Cause you can say with a straight face.
That's you know I don't find nothing serious, but do you got anything else?
I'm done.
All right. After that terrific rant, this has been another episode of the Traveling Hoopers podcast. I truly appreciate you for sticking with us for this past hour. You can subscribe, Do all that fun stuff below, please. We really appreciate it. It helps the channel grow, and we're trying to grow because we need money. I don't like being poor. I don't really.
Bro, I
don't like
hate it.
It's really like I ate Burger King fries today. Like, and I did not pay for them, which means I'm kind of hard up for this.
Yeah, I paid for them with a coupon. A coupon for a Whopper.
A coupon, son. A coupon. I can't believe this. But
Great
we really really appreciate it. You can follow us on Instagram, Twitter. I think that's it. I should know this because I run our social media channel. What the Anyway, we're gonna go ahead and get out of here. I'm gonna let my man Phillip, who is in person for the first time eating ketchup straight out the jar, go ahead and sign out.
It's a bottle, but whatever. Yeah, but my name's Phillip Dixon. Follow the Traveling Hoopers podcast. Subscribe down below. Like us on all streaming platforms, Spotify, iTunes, whatever one you prefer. And get your basketball fix because it's about to be over. Finals is almost up, and it's almost the off season. And I'm not talking about J. Cole. All right, so peace and love and care.